Good morning, students. I welcome you all for the online class of business studies. Today we will be going to start the chapter number 2, that is forms of business organization. The last chapter was completed, and it's question answer preparation you can do by yourself, as it is in the complete book. The theory is given based on the questions. According to the questions you can write the answers, and you can send me back through the WhatsApp the notes, so that I can check and tell whether it is correct or not. A small demo of how to prepare the notes I will be giving through the PDF in the next class, so that you can understand how to prepare the notes as though the notes is given in the particular book itself. Today we can start the second chapter, that is forms of business organization. In this chapter we will be going to learn what are the different forms of business organization. First of all, what is business organization? The place where the business activities are done itself is considered as business organization. It can be an institute, or it can be an factory, or it can be an organization. Anything where the work is done is known as business organization. The main objective of learning this chapter is to make the student understand to classify the various types of enterprises, the small scale, large scale, medium scale, etc. on the basis of ownership, that is private sector, public sector, and joint sector. The different forms of private sector enterprises, what are there in our country, that we will be going to learn. Then we will be learning each and every type of private sector enterprises with their classification and advantages, advantages. So let us start our chapter, that is forms of business organization, with the introduction part. The business enterprise is an organization which is engaged in some business or commercial activity. Every business enterprise is a separate and distinct unit of business. Every business entity adopts some form of business organization to carry out business activities. That place itself is called as business organization. So I think it is clear from these three lines what do you mean by business organization. A place or an institution which is engaged in some business activity. Commercial activity means wherever the word commercial comes, it means whatever work we are doing, it is done for earning profit. It is known as commercial. So business is a commercial activity, as we learnt in the first chapter. So wherever the place where some business activity is done for commercial activity, it is considered as business organization. Basically, this business organization or enterprises can be classified into three, that is private sector enterprise, public sector enterprise, and joint sector enterprises. Now let us understand what do you mean by private sector enterprise. The business enterprise which are owned, controlled, and managed by private industrial individuals are known as private sector enterprise. These enterprises work with the main motive of earning profit. Example: Reliance India, Tata Company, Birla Company, Wipro, etc. are the examples of private sector enterprises. Why it is called as private sector? Because it is not having any connection with the government sector. That's why it is considered as private. The whole control and management is done by the private individual. Second is public sector enterprises. The business enterprises which are owned, controlled, and managed by the central and state government are known as public sector enterprises. These enterprises work with the main motive of service. Example: SAIL, Steel Authority of India Limited, GAIL, Gas Authority of India Limited, etc. Joint sector enterprise. The business enterprise which are owned, controlled, and managed jointly by private as well as public sector enterprise. It is considered as joint sector enterprise. In these enterprises, the day-to-day management lies in the hands of private entrepreneurs, whereas government control and supervision by its member in board of directors. Example: Maruti Udyog Limited, Cochin Refineries, etc. The forms of private sector enterprises. In the beginning we have learnt only the classification of business organization, which was done into three: private, public, and joint sector. Now we will be going to learn is the forms of only private sector enterprises. The private sector enterprises can function and run by adopting any of the following forms. The very first form is sole proprietorship. Second, joint into family business. Third, partnership. Fourth, cooperative society. And the fifth, company. Sole proprietorship firm. A business owned, managed, and controlled by a single individual is considered as a sole proprietorship organization. Definition by different authors: the sole trade business is a type of business unit where one person is solely responsible for providing the capital, for bearing the risk, and for the management of business. That organization is considered as sole proprietor business, where the whole control of the business is done by one person. No other person is there to see the business, to invest the capital. Only a single person doing the whole business. The type of business is considered as sole trade business. This definition is given by J.L. Hansen. The another definition by L.H. Haney. The sole proprietorship is a form of business organization at the head of which stands an individual as one who is responsible, who directs its operations, and who alone runs the risk of failures. That type of business activity is considered a business organization. The features of sole proprietorship firm. The main features of sole proprietorship firm are given below. As every person is having some features and characteristics, the same way whatever topic we will be going to learn in this business studies will be having some features, characteristics, advantages, disadvantages. So we will start our first topic, that is sole proprietorship firm, with its features. The very first feature is single ownership. As we learnt in the definition itself, the business which is owned by single person, it means the whole investment of capital is done by one person and the whole business looked by one person. That type of business considered as sole proprietorship business. So the very first feature is single ownership. All the capital is supplied by the single individual from his own wealth or from borrowed fund. Second is individual risk bearing. In sole proprietorship firm, whole risk is borne by a single individual only. The sole beneficiary of all the reward is one individual only. Likewise, if there are losses, he/she alone has to bear them. Thus, he/she alone bears the risk of business. That type of business is considered as sole proprietorship business, where the whole risk is bear by one person. No separate legal entity. A sole proprietorship has no legal identity separate from that of its owner. It tells us the business is known from the owner. The business name is given by the owner of the business. So that type of business where the business is not having separate identity, it is known from the owner of the business, it is considered as sole proprietorship business. So that's why the feature is no separate legal entity. Business is known from the name of the person. Freedom of operation. In sole proprietorship firm, there is minimum government regulation. No legal formalities are required to start, manage, and dissolve sole trader business. Only a license is necessary in certain types of business. The proprietors enjoys freedom of operation in sole proprietorship concern. So that type of business is considered as sole proprietorship business, where the freedom of operation is given to the person who is running the business. He only takes decisions which type of business is good for him or in which business he want to expand. That all decisions are taken by single person. The next feature of sole proprietorship business is unlimited liability. In sole proprietorship business, the proprietor is personally liable for all the debts of the business. Here all the whatever liability is there, it is of a single person, and that person will be having unlimited liability. It cannot be calculated how much liability will be coming on the way of the business. Liability means responsibility of the person to pay back. It is known as liability. In case of business losses, if the business assets are not sufficient to meet all the business liabilities, the proprietor may have to sell his personal property to pay off the liabilities. Very important point of unlimited liability. Wherever a businessman is having an unlimited liability, if the person is not able to bear the loss from the business investment, definitely in the next step the person's personal property will be mortgaged so as to bear the liability of the business. So that is the drawback of unlimited sole proprietorship business. One man control. The proprietor is the sole owner of the firm and has full control over the business. That's why the feature is given one man control. The ownership and management lies in the hands of one person only. Some persons or manager may be employed to help the owner, but ultimate control lies with the sole trader himself. Small size. The sole proprietorship firms operate on a very small scale, as all the funds are arranged by one person. Total management and control lies with one person only. A sole trader can arrange limited funds and has limited managerial ability. Therefore, the scale of operation is generally limited. That's why we can say that's why the business is having small size, because here the investment is done by one person and that investment will be in limited quantity, has the burden of over investment will be on one person. That's why with the limited liability capital the business is started. So here the size of the business, that's why it remains small. Formation and closure. There are no legal formalities required to start and close sole proprietorship firm. There is no separate law governing this form of business. Only in some cases a license might be required, but otherwise forming and closing sole proprietor business is very simple. So here formation and closure of sole proprietorship business is very easy, as whenever a person decides that they want to start the business, they can start a sole proprietorship business, and whenever they think the business must be stopped, they can close it. No much legal formalities are required in this type of opening and closing. Lack of business continuity. Since business and owner are one, so death, insolvency, incapacity, ailment, etc. will have direct effect on the business. Has when the owner of the business die, definitely the business will come to an end, because no one is there to run the business or continue. Insolvency. If the person dissolved by the court that he cannot pay off the liability anymore, his assets are totally gone, then definitely the person will be declared as insolvent by the court. Then the business also will be insolvent. Incapacity. If the person is not able to run the business, definitely the business will come to an end. Ailment, etc. will direct have effect on the business. So this was a feature of sole proprietorship firm. Merits, advantages of sole proprietorship firm. The merits of sole proprietorship firms are as follows. The very first merit, easy to form and dissolve. A sole proprietorship organization is very easy to form. No legal formalities are involved in setting up this type of organization. It is not governed by any specific law. The sole proprietor can also close the business whenever he desires without any legal formalities. It can be closed by paying back its debts. Second, direct incentive. In sole proprietorship firm, there is direct relation between efforts and reward, which means if proprietor puts extra efforts, then profit increases and proprietor gets extra income. So proprietor is always motivated to work extra to get extra reward. So that is the direct incentive related to sole proprietorship type of business. Here whatever profit is earned, it direct goes to the person who is investing the money in the business. Flexibility, the another advantage. In sole proprietorship business, whenever the owner wants to expand the business, he can do so. Whenever the businessman want to close it, it can do. So there is a lot of flexibility for the owner of the business. He is not supposed to consult anyone and waste time. By quick decision, immediate action can be taken, which bring flexibility of operations. There are no delay, and business can quickly adapt itself to the changing environment. Some beneficiary of profits. Sole proprietor is the sole beneficiary of profit. Sole means single person. He only whatever profit will be getting, he don't have to distribute among the other peoples. He is only the owner of that sole beneficiary. That's why it is given sole beneficiary of profit. Personal touch. In sole proprietorship firm, generally all the work is carried out by the proprietor himself. So he can maintain direct contact with the customers and employees and can make changes in the products according to the demands and expectations of the customer. So there is a great personal touch of the sole proprietor firm. In all the work is carried out by the proprietor himself, so he can maintain the direct contact with the customers and employees and can make changes in the products. Next is secrecy. The sole proprietor is not expected to share his secrets with others. Definitely, when a person is running his business, he will be having his own ideas and he will not disclose these ideas with other people. So a great secrecy is maintained in sole proprietorship type of business. There is no legal compulsion for a sole proprietor to publish his accounts also. So all the decisions are taken by the proprietor. Independent control. Whatever way the sole proprietor want to control the business, he can do so. So here it is another advantage. Total control of sole proprietorship firm lies in the hands of the proprietor only. He enjoys complete freedom of action. He has all the authority to take decisions and run the business in his own way. Suitable for small scale operations. Generally, this type of small scale business is preferred for small scale business only. So sole proprietor firm is the most suitable form of business in our in the country like ours, that is India, where the people is not having much more capital. So there they can have the form of business, that is sole proprietorship form of business. With a limited capital they can start the business. That's why it is considered as sole proprietorship business. It is suitable enterprise for business requiring small capital outlay, personal attention, etc. Sense of accomplishment. A sole proprietor feels personal satisfaction, psychological satisfied with his business, because whatever business he is doing for himself, and definitely he is satisfied with his hard efforts, whatever he is putting towards the business. So there is a personal satisfaction involved in working with for oneself. The success in business not only contributes to self-satisfaction but also instills in the individual a sense of accomplishment and confidence. Next is disadvantages, demerits of sole proprietorship firm. The sole proprietorship firm suffers from certain limitations which are as follows. Limited resources. As in the beginning only we have learned, only one person is investing in the business, so many times we can see the resources which are in the business is limited. It cannot be extended because the capacity of the businessman is limited. There is a limit to the credit raising capacity of a single person. This reduces the scope for business growth. The funds are not sufficient for medium scale or large scale business. Unlimited liability. The sole proprietor is personally liable for all the debt. In case of heavy losses, the proprietor will not only lose all his business asset, but he may have to sell his personal property to pay back his debt. That is the very big disadvantage of sole proprietorship firm, where the person is not safe in the situation of uncertain risk, which is of large size. Limited managerial skill. As in this business, only one person is putting his efforts, all the creativity innovation is limited. So in this type of business firm, all the activities are performed by a single individual, who cannot be expert in other fields. So he may be a good salesman but cannot be a good manager. It can be said the person is not good in all the types of activities. So that can be a drawback of sole proprietorship firm. Maybe the person is good to purchase and produce the things, but he is not having the idea to sell to maximize the sales of the business. So that can be a type of drawback for sole proprietorship business. Limited scope for expansion. Due to limitation of capital and management, the sole proprietorship business cannot be expanded to a large variety. So it is suitable form for small scale operation only, not for a big business. Limited life of a business. As we learnt in the feature of the sole proprietorship firm, the death, insolvency, ailment of the businessman can make the business to be stopped. So that can be a drawback. The survival and continuity of sole proprietorship firm depends upon one person only. If the proprietor falls ill or become insolvent, then the business may come to an end. So that was the sole proprietorship type of business. In the next class, we will be going to learn to extend the sole proprietorship business and also Hindu undivided family business. Thank you.